All right. So let's just get to the point of it. Okay. So, I live in a small town. I I personally think that it's in good taste of Jason Aldean's try that in a small town. If more people live with the values that we have in small town USA, the world would be a better place. we don't we struggle with the same things that they do in the big city, just on a smaller scale. um and everything he says in the song, and I'm going to share my screen with you, and we're going to play it and just kind of dissect it a little bit. And I'm going to tell you my opinion, and again, this is just my opinion. You don't have to agree with it, but I will say, CMT, you made a wrong choice. Hopefully you'll play this video on CMT. Um, and again, I don't know how many, and my other half brought this up. How many people have sued bands and this and that, and saying, well, they can't have this or they can't do that in there. Okay, I'm going to say this: there have been lawsuits over huge, huge names: Ozzy, Led Zeppelin, Kiss, Eminem, and I promise you, they're still making music today. Okay. So, and I made a point, I wasn't going to do this live feed, but then I decided, yeah, I'm going to do this live feed. Okay. I play music at lots of different venues. I'm small. I am small town DJ, just play music, nothing miraculous, right? Okay. So, but I'm huge on art and music. I will support it if I know a kid is really good at something or he really wants to experiment with music, because music's an outlet. Just like art is an outlet, music is an art. Um, we have the freedom of expressions, and I think eh, censorship is huge right now. What we can say, what we can't, what we're gonna say in the future. I would not take this for granted. Um, what you're allowed to do right now is being threatened in so many different ways. If you're not paying attention, start looking at what people are supporting your amendment rights and what people are trying to take it away. Um, People don't like it when somebody comes out and speaks on it. I think realistically, we have to look at, do you want the freedoms that you have? The freedoms that are, times change, I get that. But like, we have freedoms of so many things because our grandparents or our parents or our brothers or sisters or cousins fought for those freedoms. When we choose to lay down and let our governments take that, then we lose. For me, it's creative flow. I lose my creative flow. News media loses their creative flow. I don't know that I want to wake up one day and know that our government is dictating what my news is putting out, right? I don't want to know that they're reading, that it's not real news. It's news that was created by somebody, and it was, you know, doctored to be just a certain way. Um, we need that realness. I understand that the world is so generated by social media, and but that social interaction where people talk and communicate, and we have those um, one-on-one conversations, or even group conversations where we have differences of opinion. I don't know what it is. And I gotta say, one thing that chaps my ass as a grandmother, raising my granddaughter. I love her dearly, but I will tell you this: what chaps my ass is that there is a belief that you have to think XYZ way. We can't have, like, mm, I can have my opinion, but my other half can't, or Like, I mean, and I know we communicate so many different things via text message, via computer. We don't have those real interactions. And I think we need those. We need to have those real interactions, those one on ones, on how to interact and have those combined conversations. Have, I mean, you can have a little bit of conflict, you can not agree, but we don't have to get angry. I mean, that the problem with the world right now is like everybody's got an opinion and their opinion's more important than the other person's opinion. And so, we're wasting more time in taxpayer dollars in court than, on people's opinion than we are at just living. Um, you know, the idea that the LGBTQ community can't have XYZ, that's wrong. Okay. I have lots of friends that are LGBTQ. I love them. I have lots of friends and family that are Black. I love them. Um, when I have a barbecue, I don't pick you on your race, your religion, your color, or not your political background. Dude, I just want to get everybody together and I want to have a barbecue and see what's going on in everybody's world. I want to see, what do you need? What are you struggling with? What are we doing great? Excuse me. I want to know what that looks like. What, and I think it's sad that we're living in a world where you see your neighbors struggling and we're not helping them. Now, here in small town USA, we do. Um, we see somebody struggling. Shoot, I see somebody at the gas station. They ain't had a burger in a week, or maybe they've had a burger, maybe they've had 10. I don't care. They need $3. Okay. Here's the thing. I'm gonna spend $3 on junk somewhere. Guess what? If that makes your day and I got three extra, I mean, I'm not gonna give it to everybody, but like I walked into my gas station and I saw somebody that was hungry. And he was, whether he bought whatever he said he was going to buy, that's none of my business. My business is at the end of the day to be a good person and know that somebody was reaching out, needed a few bucks. He didn't even ask for three. Okay. He asked for $1. Like, I don't know what $1 going to buy you, but hey, um, I'm going to give you that $1. Like, so I did, and I don't feel bad for it. I live my life every day trying to treat people how I would want to be treated. Um, and I'm sure that Jason Aldean and his staff and his writers and his band and his crew spent hours. You never know what goes into a video production, a song, songwriting, the copyrights, all of that. Here's the thing that I find funny. CMT banned it, people complain. And what are they complaining about? That life is really like Jason Aldean depicted in the video, that, mind you, he didn't create the scenes. Those were video clips from something else. And I'm sure he had to get permission to use XYZ video clip to make that video. Um, I think that if we took more time to stand down and stand together, the world would not be so insanely defiant. I mean, like everywhere I look, it's like, fight this, fight that, do this, do that. I'm not fighting it. Okay. You want to be that way? Hey, you got that kind of energy and that kind of time, more power to you. But I mean, just coming from a simple grandma sitting in her office, I hang out here and listen to music all day long. I just I'm beside myself. So I'm just gonna play this and we're gonna dissect a little section at a time. Okay, first thing I want to say, and I've heard this 100 times, this building, from what I understand, and I could be wrong, you cannot quote me on this, but I do believe it was in a video where Miley Cyrus was in a clip. But I also want to say this has been the center of so many things, okay? Like, I'm not saying that racism and things don't go on in this world, but in the same sense, if you think that every white person wakes up to be critical and be racist, you're wrong. You're wrong. Not every, I mean, that's like saying every black person hates every white person. Um, we have strong beliefs. We are no different than anyone else. I mean, like, this building I hear was like in 1920, there was a lynching there. Okay. I'm not saying that's not significant. Okay. But for us to be and live in a world where it is now 2023 and we can't make a video with that building in it, okay, I'm going to call BS. Okay. That's like somebody dying down the road at the courthouse and now we can't video. That's ridiculous. It is just the most dumbest thing I've ever heard. So let's go ahead and listen to some of it. These things happen.
Sucker punch somebody on the sidewalk.
Okay, sucker punch somebody on the sidewalk happens all the time. Like when we were growing up, you didn't just go find somebody and sucker punch them on a sidewalk. This happens more in America than anybody wants to admit. And the reason why his song is getting so much blowback and so many reviews is because this hits home. Do not think for a second that it doesn't, because it does.
Carjacking old lady at a red light.
Carjacking, lady at a red light, happens. It does happen. It shouldn't happen. And it's ridiculous that we allow that in the United States. And somebody needs to be held accountable to fix this kind of behavior. But he's absolutely right. So let's listen to the next line.
Pull a gun on the owner of a liquor store.
Owner. Pull a gun on an owner of a liquor store. It wouldn't matter if it was a liquor store, if it was a grocery store, it happens. It happens more time than any of us want to admit. This is what's going on in our America. So, again, Jason Aldean gets a point because he's talking about something that hits home. It happens. Would it happen in a small town? It probably has. But I will say this, it wouldn't go unnoticed and it wouldn't go unaddressed.
You think it's cool, act a fool if you like. Cuss out a cop, spit in his face.
True. Cuss at a cop, spit in their face happens more times than anybody wants to admit. This is reality. This is your world, your America in these days. 20 years ago, we wouldn't be talking about this. 20 years ago, Jason Aldean wouldn't have wrote this song. The point is, he hit it right on the spot, or people wouldn't be reacting.
Stomp on the flag and light it up. Yeah, you think you're tough. Well, try that in a small town. See how far you make it down the road. Around here we take care of our own. You cross that line, it won't take long.
He's right. Okay. You go and you shoot somebody at a liquor store that we've grown up with for 45 years, because in small town USA, that is the picture. Okay. Everybody knows everybody. We all may gossip about each other, may talk some schmack. Point is, when it happens in a small town, one, there's so much noise. Two, there is blowback. We're going to take care of our own. And if it was wrong, it's wrong. It doesn't really matter. There's no gray area to right or wrong. You're either living right or you're living wrong. So let's address that. And I think Jason Aldean did a fine job of addressing that.
For you to find out, I recommend you don't. Try that in a small town. Got a gun that my granddad gave me. They say one day they're gonna round up. Well, that shit might fly in the city.
So true. So, and my other half and I have these conversations about guns and gun violence. Okay. Some of us grew up with responsible gun behavior. Some of us know darn good and well that we would never use it unless you threatened our family, our home, our lives, our children, our cousins, our brothers. That to us as country people or even farm people or even small town people, those are the very values that hold us together. So thinking and our parents and grandparents passed those things down to us. I mean, to them, I mean, it was a way of life. It wasn't, oh, we're going to go shoot somebody. Oh, we're going to go carjack somebody. Oh, we're going to go rob a liquor store with the gun that our grandpa passed down. No. It was considered, it was something nice. It was something fine like wine, or like that beautiful candle holder that's silver. It was something we passed down for generations. And for that to be threatened, you should be worried about. I know there are people that don't carry guns, don't know anything about them. Hey, that is your prerogative. You don't want to have those things, that's your choice. Here in the country, though, we use it to protect our family, we use it to hunt, to feed our families. Have you seen that a pound of hamburger is like $13? I live in Kansas, we grow cows. Okay. Milk, $5 a gallon. We have cows here, and I know Oklahoma, Nebraska, Missouri, Arkansas, same boat. Okay. Now, if you don't live in the country, that's your prerogative too. I'm not telling you to be country. I'm telling you to understand that for us, this is a way of life. And taking care of our family, our own, our friends, and our neighbors, that's the way we are. So hold on for just one moment. Let's hear the rest of this.
Good luck. Try that in a small town. See how far you make it down the road. Around here we take care of our own. You cross that line, it won't take long for you to find out. I recommend you don't. Try that in a small town full of good old boys, raised up right. If you're looking for a fight, try that in a small town. Try that in a small town. See how far you make it down the road. Round here we take care of our own. You cross that line, it won't take long for you to find out. I recommend you don't. Try that in a small town.
These farmers are dropping their own crops for the day. A friend is in need and they've come to help.
It's what this community and a lot of our communities stand for. Somebody needs some help, you'll get it.
Try that in a small town.
Now, I got to say also, too, and I'm just going to throw this out there. Okay. First of all, props, Jason Aldean. Um, you know, this is, like I said, my opinion, but you nailed it. That's what I'm going to say. life and the way we live is being threatened on every level. And again, I grew up very country. I grew up on 180 acres. And, you know, the last part of this video catches me huge because there was a time where I remember my grandma's uh, combine to do hay did not work, or hay baler. And that was going to mean that she didn't have the money to pay her taxes on our 180 acres. And it took one call, and my grandma and everybody in within the 5 mile radius that had farms connected to our farm pulled in their equipment and came and helped. They didn't ask for not one dime, not one plate of food, nothing. Of course, my grandma made a spread for them because she was so humbled that everybody was willing to help. And, the hay got hauled and the taxes got paid. That way of life, it is a way of life. Um, and we do help each other out. If you know somebody's hurting, if you know somebody's house caught on fire, you're going over there. You're going to see what you can do. Do they need a place to stay? Do they need clothes? Do they need groceries? What do they need? And if you're not that kind of person, shame on you. Shame on you. Because, it's real easy to be selfish out here in the world. But the point is if we were, if we were doing things right by people and taking care of people and each other, we wouldn't be in this situation in the United States. And for me, this song will get voted number one. I hope. I hope it blows up. I mean, it's already blown up in the last 2 days since all this chaos came about, that it was racial and it was this, and that he was promoting a place where there was a lynching. For real? Like, you really think he went to the archives and said, back in 1920, XYZ happened, and put it in his video on purpose? I mean, come on. Who has that kind of freaking time? Um, so, yeah, this whole situation chaps my ass. The only thing that I see good about it is that song went to number one. Number one, because of all the BS with it. Um, and that personally is my opinion today. I've just watched so much stuff today. I'm just kind of like, we need music like that. Music that touches you, that makes you think. Maybe when you're pissing and moaning about this video, maybe you need to think about, who are you voting for president? Who are you putting in office to take care of your family, your neighbors, your friends, your city, your town, your state? Because I know right now, every time I go to an election, I don't see that person in anybody that's in the lineup. Now, there are some good people in the lineup, don't get me wrong, but they're just not what I would want to see on a permanent basis running the White House. Or our country right now. It's so convoluted. It's so Right now it is so distorted. And I hear music like this and I'm proud. I'm proud of the music that has come out here. I am very worried about censorship. I mean, like, Luke Combs came on a couple weeks ago with Fast Car. Yes, it was a cover. Yes, he did it again. Oh my goodness. And he did a phenomenal job. Luke Combs did a phenomenal freaking job with it. If you don't like it, don't listen to it. Don't turn it on, turn it off, flip the station, whatever. Um, I mean, we just live in a world that's so petty. Sometimes I'm like, what the hell? Have you ever heard those videos? What the hell? And so I got to say that, um, my hat off to both artists. Jason Aldean, that was authentic to the core. Anybody that listens to that song, open your mind. I mean, like, when you have time to sit and pick a song apart, to the complete audacity that some people have come on and done with this song. First of all, I want to know, where do you get that kind of time? Number two, I'm like, They have so distorted this. And he just put it out there. I mean, it's reality. And if you don't like it, then change. And if you're pissing and moaning about it, make a difference. Don't come on here bitching about a song. Get the hell over it and move on. But again, you'll never know how many hours go into that unless you're doing something as creative as him. If you think you're going to take my paintbrushes, my paint away, my artistic ability, my video things that I like to do away, then so be it. But you know what? Y- You're crushing on some real fundamental values that I don't think you want gone. You're going to be taking away rights that are very important to people. And I think that you need to think about who, what, when, and where, and why are you voting for someone when it comes voting time. And this had nothing to do with that per se. But again, it was absolutely an amazing song. And I'm just throwing my 2 cents out there because it just really chapped my ass. So I hope you guys all have a good evening. Take care. Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, Arkansas, Missouri, Colorado. Love you guys. I hope you all have a wonderful week. And again, I may come on here and do another live feed. I mean, I'm just like unbelievable. Like, I just cannot believe people have this kind of energy. Take care.